Ladies and gentlemen, we are back, 110 Sass Actual, with some very cool news and a very cool gun today. So, the brand new, all new Knights Armament SR25 from the KS series, M110a3 or SR25a3. Guys, this gun, it's a little bit of unobtainium right now, but they are coming. They're coming, baby. I don't hear that very often. Yeah. Knights just doesn't bring stuff to the market very often. Get your mind out of the gutter. So,
but before we go any further, guys, a huge giveaway we're doing here at 110 Sass. It is going to be a World War III winning machine, modern art masterpiece, and it's going to be completely free to you guys. More information about that is going to come out over the next couple weeks, so make sure that you follow the Instagram to find that. Guys, it's going to be sweet. I promise it's going to be so good, so epic. I don't know, I can't do a Trump impression. Anyways, guys, do you like paying full price for ammunition? Me neither. Do you like sweet ammunition that is made here in the United States by the homies for the homies? Yeah, me too. Go check out Badlands Munitions Company. Guys, they are the kings of the community. Small time, small batch ammunition. They have precision ammo. They have match ammo, guys. They have 9mm plinking, 9mm match ammo, concealed carry ammo. They have it all. Badlands Munitions Company. And you get 10% off your entire purchase. 10% off. 10% off all ammunition with code 110 Sass. Guys, 10% off, code 110 Sass. Go check them out. Now, let's talk more about this SR25.
There are some very cool new features coming to the SR25 lineup that are going to be standard across the board. Some very exciting stuff. So, guys, let's get into this firearm. We're going to start at the top, work our way to the bottom. Check this thing out. So first thing is first, obviously, the new lower system. This is, it's kind of funny because a lot of other companies have been doing this for years and years now. And I guess you could kind of call it that Knights is just now catching up. The fully ambidextrous lower system. Basically, you have bolt lock or bolt release all in one finger with a little paddle system there. To simply put, it's just like LMT's system. It's not any patented technology or anything like that, I don't believe. So it's just there. It's technology that's there. It's simple, it's effective, and it works. What is super interesting about this is that Knights has held out a very long time on bringing this full ambi controls on the lower to the market. I'm not entirely sure why, because again, so many other companies have been offering it in multiple different iterations for quite some time. I mean, almost over a decade now. So I do find it kind of interesting that it's just now happening in 2024 for the civilian market. Now, I do like this new system on here. Guys, it's very intuitive, it's simple, it just plain works. To put it, push down here. This is going to lock your bolt back to the rear when the bolt carry is obviously before the magazine. Go ahead, poke the top button there. Yeah, that's going to chamber you a new round. Yeah, super crazy, super fancy, right? Yeah, it's the little things. It's just the little things in life that matter. I do find it interesting because Knights was really one of the first companies to mainstream the ambi bolt release. So you could do it from the left or you could do it from the right side. There were some other companies that did it before them, I do believe, but they were the first to really make it a mainstream thing. And then, of course, get it into the military's hands. All Knights Armament M110s after 2007, they all had the ambi paddle release for the bolt. And I think people really like that because, especially in like the sniper role, the designated marksman kind of role, if you are set up prone or something like that, or in like a very structured position, a shooting position, pop your mag in. You don't have to worry about popping and going over here, especially if you are laying flat. That's kind of a pain to get your hand under there and do the thing, or you can just pop it, I don't know. It's the little things. I wouldn't necessarily call this thing a game changer, but it is nice. It's a good new feature. Now, what's super cool about these lowers is this is all one piece of billet. If you notice here, look at the trigger guard. That's a non-replaceable item because it's all one solid hunk. I think this is actually a really nice feature because I don't know about you guys, but I broke a couple of those before. You can bend them. It's just whatever. It just kind of makes it one big mainstream thing. Yeah, you guys who want the massive oversized ones to get your whole fist through the trigger group, yeah, sorry, you're not gonna be able to change it, but I promise this one's going to work perfectly fine for you. You will be fine, I swear. So another thing they have changed up on these guys is just on the left side of the lower receiver is simply put the Knights logo. No more SR25 over there. They moved everything over to the right side. Why? I don't know. Maybe because on an arms rack, it's easier if you just walk down the line. It's like, all right, serial number there, bang, 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 bang. It makes it just more uniform, maybe? I don't know. I don't know the reasoning behind it. I don't think it really matters, especially to us civilians, but something to note there. Next thing that I think is super cool is now all of the SR25 lineup that's going to be coming out in the SR25 A1, A2, A3, all the way up to A7. We'll get to this in just a second because each one of these numbers after A blank designates barrel length. We're all going to have the new URX6 rail. The new URX6 rail is actually a very intuitive design. Yeah, it looks extremely similar to the URX4, but it has a new barrel nut system on it. And this barrel nut system is much more rigid. This actually helps with rail flex while also maintaining that legendary Knights Armament accuracy out of their SR25s. So this is going to be the new standard moving forward. Unfortunately, because of how this new barrel nut is designed, we have lost that machined QD pocket into the actual rail system, which in my opinion, I'm just going to say it, is a good thing. I don't like those machined pockets in there because here's the thing. Once that goes bad, replacing that thing is an absolute nightmare. In fact, I'm never going to replace it. If it goes bad, and I've had them go bad, unfortunately you take a little slippy fall, a little tactical tumble. We'll call it a tactical tumble. You can break those little cups off in there, or you can kind of mar up the insides where you aren't either going to get that thing out like ever unless you put that booger in a vise, or you're never going to get another one to lock inside there, which means that pocket is gone. But here's the cool thing. They've included it in the whole kit. If you buy the entire firearm, you are going to get that new M-LOK QD socket that you can just pop right into the slot there. It's a much better system. You can move it to wherever you want. It's not big. It's very slim, not too bulky. It's what should have happened from the very beginning, but I don't know. That's just my opinion, one goober's opinion. So moving forward, we do have something very cool in the barrel. All of the barrels in the SR25s moving forward on this new KS lineup, if you will, are going to be dimpled barrels. Now, why a dimpled barrel? One, it just looks delicious, right? It looks so cool and tactical, right? No. Here's the thing. Weight savings. That's the biggest key factor behind dimpling a barrel is weight savings. Guys, these guns, yeah, they're not light, but they do everything they possibly can without sacrificing any sort of reliability and just overall just rigidness with these rifles and just making them durable as can be without, again, sacrificing that legendary Knights Armament SR25 reliability. So essentially what they've done is just machine itty bitty dimples into the barrel. Yeah, it's pretty much that. But here's the thing. It actually saves a tremendous amount of weight. You're talking almost a pound on this 22-inch 6.5 Creed gun. It's actually a pretty substantial amount. If you can take a 10-pound firearm and make it 9 pounds, yeah, 8 days a week, you are going to do that, especially when you're talking about the dudes who are actually fielding these in a professional manner. Yeah, if I can save a pound, I'm going to do it. Some people do a lot more to save a couple ounces. These guys are saving almost a pound on this weapon just by dimpling the barrel without sacrificing anything. You still have the same amount of accuracy. It's going to dissipate heat just a touch better, but it's not substantial enough to make it seem like, yeah, we're doing this to keep these barrels cooler. Yes, there's a little bit more technically of surface area to cool them, but when you're talking about shooting a firearm, it just doesn't dissipate it in the same amount of time that you would need it to in order for it to make a difference. So yeah, it's all weight savings, which is nice. Again, weight, yeah, ounces, pounds, pain, whatever. Anyways, moving forward, each one of these SR25s are going to have the new tooth-port brake system with the Knights Armament QDC system. Any Knights Armament can is going to fit right on there, crank it down, lock that collar in, you're good to go. If you choose not to use your can on the weapon, I will say this, that brake is crazy effective. Shooting this 22-inch gun without the can on it, outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. It feels honestly like shooting like a 10.5-inch gun that's like way over gassed, shooting 77 grains. Like that's what it feels like. It's just soft. It's flat. It's a recoil delete system. The only thing I'll say is because it is so effective, you kind of feel it. You can feel it. You feel it up in your upper teeth here, hold your mouth open, right? And you'll be fine. But it's a very effective break. If your buddy's shooting right next to you, maybe just scoot down a couple feet and, save his teeth too, right? But I'm going to be running it with a can anyways, so doesn't matter. Now, if I was like a shorter gun, like the 14.5s, like I've done the video on, check that one out. Or the 16-inch, I've done a video on that one too, so check that one out. You put the brakes on those, it becomes a much more just nimble and light firearm, and I could see myself really running the brake on those as opposed to just the can on there. But you guys will decide what's best for your shooting style and your need. Next thing I want to talk about is this new bolt carrier system. The actual firing pin. This is the biggest change to the internals of this firearm. This firing pin system is actually contained by a spring. Why is that? Well, here's the thing. With 6.5 Creed ammo, sometimes primers can be just a little bit softer. With this spring system here, this is going to stop slam fires. It's also going to help stop with piercing those primers and causing potential malfunctions or worse, damage to your actual firing pin. As of now, they're only doing that on the 6.5 Creedmoor chambered firearms in the SR25 lineup. They haven't done that to the SR25s in 7.62. And reason being, again, 6.5 Creed ammo, sometimes primers are just a little bit softer, a little bit more chamber pressure, things like that. It's to save yourself from piercing primers, causing malfunctions in your weapon, or potentially causing damage to the actual firing pin. It's super easy to install, it's super easy to take out, it's just one extra step. It's literally make sure the firing pin is seated all the way forward before you push the retaining pin back in. Once it's all the way forward and you push it down, that's it. Same thing to disassemble it, push it forward, then pop the booger out. Another thing that you are getting with these new SR25s, now granted they've been doing this for a few years now, so it's nothing new, but worth mentioning is that you do have the new dual ejector bolt versus the old M110s, they were just a single ejectors. Also, you have a sand cutter carrier, which the sand in my mother's basement, sandy in there. Never gonna have any issues with sand now. So essentially the channels, as you guys know, on a bolt carrier group, yeah, they're solid. All they've done is just machine those out of there, giving a pathway for dirt, debris, sand, gunk, so on and so forth, a way out to help not slow up that bolt carrier system and keep you running longer in between, complete breakdowns and cleanings and adding lube. So very cool. Thanks. Appreciate that. Mother's basement is sandy in there, thank you. I can operate so much harder now. Next thing I want to talk about is the ambi charging handle. They've been doing this for just a couple years now, so it's not exactly brand new, but they are coming standard now. So that's good because sometimes over the past couple of years, yeah, they've been shipping with either the ambi handles or the single latch. These new guys, completely ambi, very nice. They're not these big, god-awful, huge latches that every time you go to point and shoot to catch it on your kid or something like that. Those are so annoying. I hate those things. I cannot stress it enough. They're simple, very easy to get. You guys, if you want to rack it with your hand on the outside, you can do that too. If you want to climb underneath your optic there and rack it like that, you've got that way as well. So just adds options, makes quality of life just a little better. Now the next thing here, this one is actually coded from the factory, and I don't think many other ones are going to be doing this. So rumor has it this is an MRGGS. If you guys are familiar with the mid-range gas gun, A and S, assault, and sniper variant. This was a SOCCOM military trial. So basically they all had to be 6.5 Creed guns. There was two variants, a 22-inch or 20-inch 6.5 gun, and also a 14.5-inch 6.5 Creed gun. Rumor has it, this is one of those submission weapons. This is why it's been painted tactical tan, if you will. So super rad. I don't think this is going to be a factory option. I think this is kind of just a one-off thing. So don't expect that. If you do see some in stock, they're probably just going to be the standard factory ammo. So guys, I just wanted to do a quick rundown and update on this new SR25 lineup right before SHOT Show. It's going to be super cool to see these start rolling out here. They're actually going to become available to the market. When, I don't know, hold your breath, but I think they're coming sooner than you actually think. So keep your eyes out on those guys that actually retail these things. People like D. Wilson Manufacturing, Rooftop, Big Tex Ordnance, Thoroughbred Armament, 2AF. There's quite a few people that retail these guns now. Keep your eyes peeled, sign up for notifications on those things. So these things are coming right around like $6,500 for the complete firearm system. Here's the thing. That's expensive. That is not a cheap firearm by any means. In fact, it's probably the most expensive or one of the most expensive gas guns on the market, period. And you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons. of this firearm and the cost of that firearm, if you are a serious shooter and reliability is of just the utmost importance, this is probably a firearm for you. Because here's the thing, guys, they've been manufacturing these things since like the early 90s. Back when Black Hawk Down incident took place, they were manufacturing SR-25s. And in fact, Randy Shugart had visited Knight's Armament about their new SR-25s because he was considering carrying one over his M14. Unfortunately, you know, he did pass away in that incident, never got the chance to, but it was possible. So here's the thing. These things have been out for a long time, and they're OGs of the game, large frame gasser game. If you think large frame gasser, I feel it's synonymous with the M110 and that series in the SR-25. So if reliability and heritage is of the utmost importance to you guys, and just the dudes that have been doing it for the longest time, I think, yeah, it's worth it to you. If you're a guy that's just like the casual shooter, like every once in a while you shoot a match or something like that, and you don't want to be super deep, $6,500 deep in just a gun, and you're going to spend probably another $2 to $4 grand on an optic, getting it all set up, I just don't think this gun is for you. I think it's just a little too expensive. But if you've got it, send it, bro. Heck yeah. Guys, I believe we have a wrap on this firearm here. Do you need this gun? Again, it's going to come down to how you use it. If reliability and just overall ruggedness of a firearm and the legendary just heritage of Knight's Armament is important to you, yeah, grab one. If that's not important to you, this probably isn't the gun for you because it's just too much money. It costs way too much. By the time you get an optic on it, get it all set up, it's no problem to be 10 grand deep in a firearm. That's not cheap. That's not cheap. In 2024, that's not cheap. In 2030, I don't know. It might be cheap then. I don't know. Inflation's getting out of control. But speaking of inflation, I got to run. So, guys, say it with me. Run your gun and not your mouth. We'll catch you next time.